So what happens when you start to intuitively realize that you may truly not find a romantic soulmate in your lifetime? I'm going to talk about that in this video. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Krishantiw with Krishantiw.com, and this video is prompted by a question from a viewer. And I want to read to you verbatim what she wrote because it really caught my attention. I could feel the energy behind it. So she asked, what if someone doesn't have any soulmates? I know that everyone on YouTube is talking about how to attract your soulmate, but what if we intuitively realize that we are not going to meet our soulmate because there is no one? And she brings up a really good point. And we can't, if we're going to authentically speak about manifesting a soulmate and bringing in love and all of that, it is not universally easy for everyone. We all have different life paths and all of that. But I was thinking about this and deepening into like ways to cope and how to handle it. And first and foremost, I think to pull your attention away from that would be important, because if you're focusing on it, and of course it's upsetting if you really want it and it's not happening and you're starting to feel like, my God, it's like, is this ever going to work? That can really bring your energy down. So first of all, if you're able to pull all of your energy back to yourself and to just leave that topic alone for a while, just try to if you can, like just spend some time focusing on other things. It seems that it creates an energy that can really put a damper on the rest of your life if you're focusing on one area that is a big area and it's really important and it's not working out, but you're still focusing on it. It's almost as if you shift your energy to what you are being successful at, like what is working for you and what is working out, you'll find that at least that aspect of life tends to work itself out. And you might also find answers as to what is going on with with the soulmate idea. It just sort of softens the energy when you pull your focus away from that. Now that's challenging. It's like it would be like a daily practice, like a habit to pull yourself away and out of it. But with repetition and with throwing yourself into other things, pouring your attention into what is serving you and what is working for you, you can do it. And when I say that softens the energy, it just makes that horrible problem that is stressing you out and that sucks, it just makes it less like in your life, and it kind of shrinks it down. Now I'm going to get further on to why and how that works at an even greater level as we move on in the video. But let me go to the next thing. I made notes this time to make sure I'm on point and following through everything. So move your focus to something else. Again, a big feat, but try it. Now next, you want to focus on this. And this is a big one, and it's huge when it comes to manifesting. And a lot of people on YouTube or people who are talking about manifesting don't always bring this up. But there is the idea of what you want and what your soul wants, what your eternal spirit wants out of this life. And then there's the idea of what society says we're supposed to want out of this life. And a lot of people, you guys, have so many problems with that because many of us are unique snowflakes that don't fit into the mold, that aren't meant to fit into the picture that society has created, that this box we're supposed to fit into, this mold we're to conform to be like everyone else. So when you think about soulmates, this is an idea that it's very romantic. It sounds really wonderful. Realistically speaking, can you think of 10 couples now who are alive, who you know through and through have a wonderful soulmate relationship that you would love to have for yourself? Now, it's just something to really consider, because why are there so many divorce lawyers? Like, why do they make so much money? Why are there so many love songs that are usually about heartbreak? The soulmate phenomenon too is, I'm going to get into that a little bit deeper and more the spiritual thing, but I'll say it right now. A soulmate isn't necessarily the person that makes your life perfect. Sometimes a soulmate is teaching you the most difficult, challenging lessons so you can grow. And that's not the perfect romantic soulmate. Like the soulmate that's a partner who is abusive and you finally leave the relationship and you pick yourself up and you're like a better version of yourself than you ever could have been because you change your life and you become who you really are meant to be because of what that person did. You know, that could be a soulmate, but it's not the Disney version of the soulmate. And yet, that is how I see, and with the thousands of clients I've talked to over the years, how that kind of thing can shape itself out to be. So is it really true? And of 8 billion people on the planet, over 8 billion, I doubt that even 1 billion have a perfect soulmate relationship. A soulmate can come with an enormous amount of pain too. One of the commenters on a video I made about soulmates said that he or she, that person said they met their soulmate and the soulmate died right before they were going to get married. So there's a lot of tragedy mixed in this. I mean, Romeo and Juliet is like the epitome of like tragic love loss. So would you, if you think about it that way too, like, is there something going on here where it could have happened and you could have been in a terrible soulmate relationship, or the person you love could die, or this person could be very ill and you spend your life caring for them. You know, we really want to think more like broad scale of what does it actually mean to be partnered in a relationship with another person. What do you have to give? What do you have to give up? How different is your life with another person? Soulmate or not, but for this case, like a soulmate, what would that be like? It's just something to think about and to work on. Now, moving into the thinking about and working on, another thing I think that would be helpful when you're feeling like there isn't anyone out there for you. If you believe in spiritual work, or if you even believe in psychological work, I believe in reincarnation. And so in my belief system and what I've seen with clients, this time in the world is the first time that women can be independent and not have to be saddled in partnership with someone else. Women can vote, women can wear pants, women can drive, women are allowed to do a lot of things, that they were not able to do in the past. You had to have a partner. And if you really think about it, in many cases, that partner was someone that your parents chose for you. And people weren't necessarily falling in love left and right and having soulmates. Many times it was like a partnership, like an agreement, or it was like, okay, you got to go with this person, and then hopefully love will bloom. But we hear these stories historically, like Cleopatra and Antony, and like all of these amazing like romantic stories that make us think that it's something really incredible and wonderful, when in reality, when you look at what most people have had to go through, my origins are from India. My father is from India, and he married my mom, who was white. He went against everything, and when she divorced him, he had an arranged marriage. He asked, and so she wasn't falling in love with her soulmate. Her father said, "This is a great guy. I think you should marry him." They've had a beautiful life, but in many cultures, like I said, and it's still happening. But if you think about it in times now, so you may have had many past lives where you were saddled with partners and it wasn't great. And then here comes a reality. And guys, what I see in my belief system with reincarnation too is that you could be a man in this life who's been a woman in all these other lifetimes. You can be a woman in this life who's been a man in these other lifetimes. So whatever body you're in, it could be that you have had so many lifetimes of oppressive relationships that for once, damn it, you'd like to have a life where you can do whatever the heck you want with no one else, like no monkey on your back, no chain, like ball and chain around your neck. It's something to think about. Now, and also psychologically speaking, if you want to just work with a therapist or work with someone to help look at where your life path is and what you really want. If you even just do work on your soul purpose and what you're here for, something really important and interesting to think about when you're in partnership with another person is that is sexual energy, creative life force energy. Now, that energy is very similar to the energy I see in clients who are artists and writers and creators of many different kinds. If you are in a partnership and you're pouring all of your energy into maintaining and keeping that, do you have as much to pour into your creative work? Now, we can think of examples of people who, well, they're married and they seem to have a great career and they're blah, 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 but we don't know if their marriage is happy, if their partnership is wonderful. We don't really know. And that's the other thing, back to the societal thing to consider, is unless you know, you don't how someone's relationship is or where it's headed or what's going to happen. There's a famous actor who was married for 30 years. Everyone thought, oh my God, how wonderful. Oh, what soulmates, how great. And all of a sudden he's with this new woman. Wow, okay, what did his former wife feel like? I mean, I can't speculate, but I mean, think about that. Like, we thought everything was so wonderful all these years, the perfect marriage, and then he's with somebody else now. So just think about really what you want, you yourself. What projects do you want to work on? What is meaningful to your spirit? What makes you so happy? What do you love? You have so much more creative life force energy to pour into yourself, your life, your work, your art, the people in your life, the other people in your life that you may not have, like, as I said before, it may not if you're a partner with a soulmate. So something to consider. Now, before I get to the last step, which is really nice and interesting to think about, I'd love to hear what you think about all this. So if you've been in a situation where maybe you thought someone was your soulmate and then you're like, maybe they're not, or it was a teacher soulmate and you broke up, or if you're still looking for a soulmate, what's on your mind right now? Please put it in the comments below. And while I'm on that, if you're interested in learning more about this, I'm having live Zoom workshops this year. I've got a lot of pre-recorded classes, courses, and meditations that you can check out at Krishantiw.com. Sign up for my mailing list and you'll get notified of the new things that are coming out. But leave a comment if this speaks to you. I want to know what you're thinking about. And while I'm on this whole spiel, if there are things that you'd like me to talk about, that's what I'm here for. I don't want to make stuff that people aren't interested in. I want to hear what you want to know. So I'm here. You can email me, ask@krishantiw.com. You can put it in the comments. Let me know. So here's the last part, is what I've seen a lot with manifesting. I'm going to put my laptop down. Is that you can very much be in a place where what you want, the doors are closed. So what that beautiful commenter, and I felt her energy, it felt really good. So I want to thank you for reaching out. I appreciate that. The doors may be closed now, like really closed, and maybe that's what you're feeling, like, oh, okay, okay, gotta go do this, that, and the other. But it could be that you take your attention off of it, you focus on something else, and then out of the blue, when you least expect it, here comes somebody that's like your soulmate. It happens. I know a wonderful shamanic therapist from New Zealand who's advanced in age now, and he said for the greater part of his life, or for a great part of his life, he really believed there was no one for him because he's very different. He's unusual. And he met his partner, and she is like the perfect partner for him, like soulmate. They work together, so there is something to taking your mind off of it, and then perhaps it opens up. But if you're in a scenario like, we need to be realistic here. And one of the things people who talk about manifesting, who want to sell you on it and have you believe that they can teach you how to just have everything you want in the world, if you are faced with a disease and you're told you have like 6 months left to live, well, then, that becomes like, okay, maybe I won't meet my soulmate in the next 6 months. What can I do? What is it in the world that I love? What can I bring into my life? Like, what can I give to the people I love? It's like it kind of shrinks it down into like, oh, okay, what is important right now? And that goes back to the beginning, is like taking your attention off of what you want that's not coming and just putting it out on what's right in front of you. That's really important, but that's something they don't talk about, because not all of us get to have perfect lives and have everything. And it's a bummer, but nobody wants to hear that. We want to hear the story where we are allowed to have everything. We should have everything we want. And when it comes to love, and this is the last thing I'll say here, when it comes to love, if it's in your self-study work and figuring out what it is you're here for and what you want in life, there's no reason you can't have an abundance of love. And you can start to bring love in. You can just set it up like you're sending out love. You're going to just send love to people and have people, respond to people who are loving. And that energy of love is pretty powerful. It doesn't have to be romantic, but then if you feel happy and you're like, there's people you want around, a lot of the right kind of people, you're feeling good about your work, your creativity, yourself, your health, whatever it is you're focusing on, then it's like you're so full that then you don't really notice that there isn't one. I know a lot of people too who have decided they are going to be uncoupled for the rest of their lives, and they're very, very busy and they're pretty happy. I can think of a few right off the top of my head, but I will tell you, I know that they have gone through processes and times in their life where they're like, oh, I don't like this. And then they settle into, a rhythm. With one of them, someone did come along a while ago, but it didn't end up. And now she's very much not interested, because she's in a stage in her life where she just doesn't want that anymore. So I know I talked about a lot of different things, a little rambling in there with the manifesting part, but it's important. It's important to realize we're all here for different reasons, and that while we are powerful, there's a greater source, God, whatever you call it, in charge. And we also have our own spirits that may have different agendas than what society says we're supposed to have. The house, the dog, the two partners, a white picket fence, two perfect kids, X amount of money in the bank. That's not I would say that's not really for a lot of us. A lot of us are more different than we'd like to admit. So I hope that helps. And again, let me know if there are other topics you want me to cover. Thank you so much for being here, guys, and I'll see you next time.